What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the one and only Fragrance Fraternity, the best smelling fraternity in the world. We're talking today about some affordable fragrances. Guys, it is time. I've been super bougie. I've been, super nose to the ceiling. All these expensive fragrances I've been talking about. It's time to come back to the roots, to where it all started with some affordable fragrances. Because, believe it or not, you don't need to spend a lot of money to smell great. I truly believe that. I'm not just saying it for the content. I really believe that. Any of these 10 fragrances that I'm about to tell you about are going to be very solid for you, and you would be set if you only stuck with these. You really would. All right, so let's get it started here. I'm going to get this one out of the way before you guys give me hell for it in the comments. You know what it is. Banana Republic's Tobacco and Tonka Bean, everybody. A beautiful gourmand fragrance, probably the best or one of the best. You got several of the best fragrances that you can get at an affordable price here, but especially this one, it's like in the top 3 of $25 or under fragrances that even exist in the world. Okay, this is the kind of stuff I'm giving you here at the Fragrance Fraternity. I'm giving you the gems. So it is a little bit of a unisex fragrance, but it is one of the vanilla fragrances that I really get down on at this affordable price range. Some people compare it to Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanilla. I don't really get all of that. I think this kind of does its own thing. Relatively sweet, as you would probably expect from a Tonka Bean forward fragrance. You don't get as much of the tobacco, I'll admit, as the Tonka Bean. The Tonka Bean is more prominent, and you get a decent amount of performance, but that sweetness really helps cut through the cold. It is, kind of like a dessert. You'll be smelling like a snack. Very much a playful, fun, outgoing type of scent. Not super serious here. Just having a good time. You want a kind of a sweeter vanilla fragrance that I think the majority of people out there are going to really love the way this smells. It's got a mass appeal to it, but, it's great bang for your buck at the end of the day. That's really what it is. So, I had to throw it in here where you guys would give me hell. Rightfully so. Banana Republic, Tobacco, and Tonka Bean. All right, let's go now to a fragrance that I waited way too long to pick up. Don't make the same mistake as me, guys. I thought I'd be good without it, but then when I got it, I was thinking, what the hell was I waiting for? This is Uomo's Signature. So again, you're going to get a decent prominence of that Tonka Bean sweetness, especially in the opening. That's mainly the first thing that I really noticed about this fragrance. It was a little bit sweeter than I expected, but that big dose of Tonka Bean is going to help it with the performance because this thing lasts and lasts and lasts. One of the best performing affordable fragrances that I've ever experienced, really, that maybe didn't come from like a Middle Eastern, because some of those are just unchained beasts. But getting back to this one, as it dries down, you're going to get more of the leather that comes out, and you get a bit of this coffee nuance as well. So some nice complexity, and a little bit surprising with the amount of complexity you're getting at the price range. It develops really well. Whoever perfumed this just did an incredible job. The development is there, the quality is there, the performance is there, the appeal is there, the use situation that you could use this in is there. It's really good for dates or going out. Anytime you're going to be stepping out in the evening and it's a little bit cooler out, this is a stunning fragrance to go with. Just excellent selection. One of the best, again, affordable. That's, I'm just giving you guys the top of the top right here. Uomo Signature from Ferragamo. Don't sleep on it. All right, let's go now with what I believe to still be the best Versace Eros fragrance on the market. This Versace Eros Flame, this little 30 ml. Found this little puppy at Ross. Hopefully you can too. It was a really good price. Don't exactly remember what I paid for it. But I really like the fact that this one introduces a little bit of like the citrus in the opening compared to if you're familiar with the original Eros scent profile. This one's a bit of a twist. You do still pick up on that Eros DNA. However, I really enjoy the woodiness that this one brings, and I really enjoy the Chinotto and the orange in the top that this one brings. It's something that always makes me want to come back to this fragrance, and it's just a stunning scent, guys. The best Eros in my opinion, better than the Energy. I think that one is a little bit too close to Aventus to really take the crown. This one still is a very original scent profile. It does its own thing, is not inspired necessarily by anything other than Eros, which this is. So just a great fragrance. Can't say enough good things about it. Beautiful bottle too with this red style. I really enjoy this one. I think they hit it out of the park with Versace Eros Flame. You could wear this one day or night too. Pretty much every single situation you can use this. Maybe just not a gym fragrance, but really none of the fragrances that you would wear in the cold are. So that was probably not even worth saying. Anyway, let's keep it going now before I say something that I will regret. Calvin Klein, this is Defy. This is the Parfum. Man, this is so slept on, and I'm like shocked how slept on this fragrance is. It's got this beautiful cacao base. It's got a pink pepper sweetness in the opening that is really going to catch your attention. And it's also got a bit of a blue shower gel smell working in as well. But it's kind of a smoky blue. It's not super soapy. It is got some nice kind of incensey touches to it. Similar to the way Versace Dylan Blue has some incense touches to it. This one does as well. But really it goes, it's kind of like a mixture of Dylan Blue with Bad Boy Eau de Toilette from Carolina Herrera, because it does have this cacao base that it dries into just beautifully. Again, incredible performance here. I found this 100 ml at Marshall's for 40 bucks. I think the value at that price is just insane, really. Amazing performance, beautiful, appealing scent profile, a compliment getter, quote unquote, whatever that means. Defy Parfum. It's being slept on. I'm here to wake you all up and tell you how good Defy Parfum is. I think the EDP was a little bit of a letdown for a lot of people, so they're kind of shaky on this Parfum. This one goes a completely different direction. It's a completely different fragrance. It's like 50 times better. That one was like, you know, a lot of leather and maybe not the best blend overall, but the Parfum, if you enjoy like the YSL fragrances, stuff of that nature, you know, maybe like the Dior Sauvage Parfum, you know, things of that nature, Bad Boy, Extreme. Is that the one with the cannabis note? Not the one with the cannabis note. I think the Extreme does not have the cannabis note. I think that's the Le Parfum. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's get back to it. This is Gary's Den from FOMO, which is Fragrance By's brand. Seriously, an excellent alternative to Dior Homme Parfum. Dior Homme Parfum is super pricey these days. It's like $160 plus for 100 ml. This little puppy is like 35 bucks. Quality's on point, doesn't smell cheap. It really smells more like in the $60 to $70 price range. If I had to put the price range to quality, if I had to match it up, I'd put it there. So good value. You gotta like Iris, you gotta be a fan of Iris, you gotta know that DHP scent profile already, because it does get pretty close. A little bit more on the woods here, a little bit more on the spices here than DHP. You don't get as much of the leather like you do in DHP, but a fantastic alternative, almost like its own twist, almost like another flanker, really. So great performance. You gotta love Iris, and if you do, this is great value for your money at 35 bucks with Gary's Den Le Parfum. If you're a fan, I think you will love this one. I sure really enjoy every time I wear it. I think you will too. All right, here's one that I've been seriously addicted to lately. You probably are sick of hearing it if you catch me in the live streams. This is Ahmed Al-Maghribi's Blue Oud. This fragrance continues to blow my mind. I've been searching for this kind of like Blue Jolly Rancher fragrance, and although this is not necessarily a Blue Jolly Rancher the way I'd envisioned it, it does have some of that sweetness and that fresh kind of lavender aromatic freshness to it, really. This is kind of like Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum mixed with Tuscan leather from Tom Ford. So you do get this leather, you get this oud. It's a little bit on the synthetic side, but really it smells great. And those two fragrance profiles, you know, they don't really mesh together. It's kind of two different worlds. One's like leather, oud, animalic maybe. And the other one is super fresh, super, you know, aromatic and clean. And they don't always mesh, but the way that this one was perfumed, they blended it perfectly together. It's got enough mass appeal to where you could wear it every day without standing out too much. But then again, you're a fragrance person. You don't want to smell like everybody else. You don't want to probably smell super basic. This is going to set you apart a little bit because it does have that leather and oud worked in there. So really love this fragrance. Amazing performance. You can really overdo it on the sprays. 4 or 5 sprays, you're going to be set for the whole night. Yeah, this is just such a great value. I can't even stress this enough. I was going off away from these Middle Eastern for a while, and then this one kind of like reignited my appreciation for some of these Middle Eastern houses and what they're doing. Blue Oud from Ahmed Maghribi. Not a clone of anything as far as I know. If you guys know what this is supposed to be cloning, I don't think it is cloning anything. Let me know in the comments. From what I've researched, it's an original. It's pretty crazy good. It's really good. All right, next one we have from the house of John Varvatos. This is a collaboration with Nick Jonas. This is Crimson. I really like this kind of black to red gradients on this bottle. The thing with these Varvatos fragrances is, you may already know, but performance is not their strong suit. It really doesn't matter which Varvatos fragrance. I don't think there's any of them that really last that long. I haven't tried all of them. I haven't tried like Dark Rebel and Dark Rebel Rider. Maybe those last a little longer, but for the majority of them, they don't have the best performance, but they do have good quality, especially at the price point. This one smells kind of like an apple cider vinegar type beverage, you know, like a warm apple cider around the holiday times. That's really what this one reminds me of. It does have a bit of a rum accord as well, but not super challenging if you're not into boozy fragrances. I'm particularly not the biggest fan of boozy fragrances, but this is one I get down on. It's very easy to understand. It's very easy to like or whatever. I think this is a good fragrance that you would want to keep in your car and just kind of spray on before you go somewhere, because if you spray it on at home, it might be fading pretty fast by the time you get to your destination. So keep it in the car, hit yourself with a couple sprays before you go into wherever you're going, and I'm almost certain you're going to turn some heads and people are going to be wondering what you're wearing because you're smelling so great and they want to give you a compliment. Nick Jonas, John Varvatos, Crimson. All right, let's go now to something completely different. This is Joop Homme, but this is the Le Parfum version. So the original Joop is kind of a divisive fragrance. Some people love it, some people hate it, but no one can argue that it's not an absolute unchained beast of a fragrance. It'll attack the senses. It will spread out like a freaking virus, you know, in a good way. But if you like the scent. Anyway, let's reset here. Iris here in this one, it almost kind of smells like a Stronger With You flanker. You do get some of that sweetness, not 100%, just, you know, in that vein of maybe like if they had a Stronger With You Iris flanker or something like that. But it's really kind of a surprisingly how good this is, because the original I was not a huge fan of. This one I like quite a bit more because it introduces that iris, a little bit of powder in the opening, and then as it dries down, you do get a little bit reminiscent of that Joop profile, but more refined, updated, modernized, really brought into the, you know, the 2020s as far as, you know, how perfumery is blended right now and the scent profiles that work or whatever. So, you know, an update to a classic with some iris. You're not going to hear any complaints from me. Joop Homme, Le Parfum, also amazing performance, longevity, projection, all that. All that. You're getting it all. And look at that juice, some dank, dark liquid in there. All right, two more, guys. I appreciate you sticking with me. This is Dolce & Gabbana. This is the Pour Homme. I don't talk about this one too much because admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of it. It has kind of grown on me over time. I know that there's a lot of really diehards out there, so I'm sorry if I just pissed you off. I just, you know, attacked your favorite fragrance. Please don't take it personally. It's all just an opinion, and no one is to say I'm right and you're not. If you wear it and you own it and you love it, that's all that matters. Anyway, a little bit of tobacco here. This is powdery, really powdery, so you got to be okay with that. The opening is a little bit not to my liking, but the mid and the dry down is really where this fragrance shines. It's got this cozy, it's got this kind of like inviting nature to it. It's pretty good for maybe someone who's a little bit softer spoken or that wants to maintain a little bit more of a low profile. It doesn't really project. It's more of a date night fragrance. It kind of sits closer. You have a little sillage to yourself. So it's really nice and cozy and enveloping in that way. Not abrasive, not overpowering, definitely not too sweet. It's not like something you'd want to wear to the club or if you want to get noticed. More of a personal scent, but really good for, you know, just chilling at home or watching a movie on the couch with your significant other. You want a couple sprays of something that's going to just make the environment more enjoyable. It's a good fragrance to go with. Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme, and you can get it for a great price. This has been out, I think, since like the 90s or early 2000s, not exactly sure, but it's not a new fragrance, that's for sure. All right, last one. I know I'd catch some heat if I didn't include this, and rightfully so, because this is one of the best, if not the best, affordable fragrance out there on the market. You know, just like the tobacco and tonka bean and pretty much everything else I told you guys about. This is CK1 Shock. So I do get a little bit of like this lotion smell here that people don't really mention, but you know, that's neither here nor there. This is a tobacco fragrance, but a beginner-friendly tobacco fragrance. So test the waters with tobacco. This is a good place to start. You might find that you're absolutely in love with this fragrance, just like so many others that have come before me that have told you about this, that have hyped it up for good reason. I always come back to this, at least a couple times when the cool weather rolls around. This one catches my eye. This lime green reminds me of, Monster Energy cans back in the day for some reason, playing video games as a middle schooler, and I just have a craving for CK1 Shock when I see it. It's also a kind of a fragrance that you may wear once and then you might find yourself wearing like 3 or 4 days in a row because you just can't get enough. Good thing is, if you run out, it's only $20 usually at the rack store for this fragrance. So performance is average, it's decent, it's not terrible, it's not super long. Again, a little bit on the powdery side, a little bit more of a cozy kind of seductive scent profile going on here with CK1 Shock. I know you guys probably already know it. All right, folks, that is me coming back to tell you about some affordable fragrances coming off the pedestal of this high-end perfumery, this bougie, fragrance extravaganza that I've been talking about lately. I don't know. I got to really work on my stand-up routine. It's not easy being funny on the spot, but every now and again I do have my moments. So we live for those. We live for those moments, those key moments. Thank you guys. I'm losing it over here, but I'm gonna hang in there. I'm gonna go grab some food. We got Thanksgiving coming up in a couple hours here, so hopefully you guys have a great Thanksgiving and be well. May you wear your fragrances in great health for the rest of the year and into next year and for the rest of your life. Have a great Thanksgiving meal. Enjoy your time with loved ones. I will catch you next time at the Fragrance Fraternity. Let me know, what did I miss? What's a great affordable fragrance you're going to be wearing in the cold weather? Tell me about it. That's it, folks. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye.